weaponized by Prince Harry, I thought we need to hear from Glenn Mulcaire, the man at the centre of this story. Here you go. Glenn Mulcaire, I am delighted that you are joining the channel to share your story. You have been in the press, and I want to always be accurate, so I'm going to read the headline. Harry's legal team threatened private investigator in Daily Mail hacking case. Now, today's episode, we are focusing on the weaponization of money, power and influence. I'm delighted that you are able to join the conversation. Can you introduce yourself to insiders?
I certainly can. Firstly, thank you, Lauren, for having me. I'm Glenn Mulcaire, and for over 25 years, I was an investigator for Unitel, LRI and Quest. 6 of those years, I was a lead investigator for News International. For the last 14 years, I've been an expert witness and whistleblower for the phone hacking litigation involving Prince Harry and Hugh Grant. Thank you again for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. I am so glad that we can hear from you in your words, because when I saw these articles that came out regarding Harry's legal team pressurizing you, and I was mortified when I read some of the information that's publicly available. We know that his case with the High Court against Associated Newspapers has come to an end, and we're awaiting the verdict. He is now due to go back to the High Court, where he is now being sued for defamation. Can you discuss why you didn't take part in this court case as a witness on Prince Harry's team relating to Associated Newspapers?
I was the main whistleblower, but what I felt at the time is that they wanted me to confirm things as opposed to contribute. There was a lot of soft power, there was a lot of coercion in regarding statements that need to be done constructively, but mainly on their points. And I was not happy with that.
Glenn, I'm just going to quote. This is a piece available on GB News. It's also widely available within the mainstream media. It says an email disclosed to the High Court on December the 18th showed private investigator Glenn Mulcaire received threats from researchers working for the legal team representing the Duke of Sussex and others. Mr. Mulcaire admitted hacking into the Daily Mail's computer system on behalf of rival publications, but never for the Mail. Graham Johnson, a convicted phone hacker who has been working as a legal researcher for the claimants, wrote to colleagues in April 2016, "I'm trying to get him, Mr. Mulcaire, to raise his game, but he neither responds to threats nor praise. I have bollocked him several times. I do not think Glenn will jump through many more hoops for myself without an arrangement in place. Glenn is a person who is easily upset and is one of those buy-ups who will go offside at the drop of a hat. However, I think the more funding I can do, what you say." What on earth is this?
Wow. Firstly, I've been a whistleblower for nearly 14 years. It's never been no problem up to this point. Now, that's what I call soft power. That's coercion. That's also a gatekeeping exercise to keep me playing their game. And this is what I'm deeply upset about, is because I will only deliver the facts. I will not up my game just to fit a convenient narrative. And that's why I get upset.
Absolutely. I mean, look, I've long been vocal about phone hacking and the huge problems that there are. And I believe there's still many, many problems within the media industry. But the fact that you're a whistleblower and you feel that the full truth perhaps was not being given the space it absolutely needed to be given within this Prince Harry case, I think that raises huge questions, because you are the dream whistleblower. You not only have been to prison to pay the price, but you've also been heavily committed to deep reforms within the mainstream media and justice at a base level for everyone. Why do you believe you were such a problem for the Prince and his legal team when all you wanted to do was tell the truth?
This seems to be a common theme. And firstly, I've been convicted of the same crime twice uniquely in the UK. I think it's just the same coin, different sides. That's what concerned me. I was kept and managed by a committee in a very small, tiny pool. And my story was never heard. 2 points I wanted to raise is restorative justice by talking to the victims and claimants, you get insights, you get new dynamics, you get new information. That was denied. Second point is prescribed, I want a better word, pre-drafted statements with landmark points. And what I mean by that is that they didn't allow me to put reference points out of why this happened, why couldn't it have happened. And I was doing this type of person who was a corporate journalist sociopath, where the information that where I was being told it was going didn't quite end up at its destination. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and off camera as well, we've also spoken, you have a book which Shadow Man is amazing book, but
thank you.
You were almost, I would say, coerced into playing a certain game with this legal team, and your book would benefit. Obviously, I don't want to put words in your mouth. I don't want to ask you to say.
Well, you can. I can disagree, Lauren, so you can.
Yeah, I don't want you to ever say anything you're not comfortable saying. But can you share with the insiders what was said or how things were positioned? That ultimately, if I'm reading between the lines, it was you come on our side, play nicely, and your book will benefit. Is that right?
Listen, my position hasn't changed for the last 21 years. I've been used in every category. I've been denied a voice at Leveson, denied a voice at my own trial, denied a voice at the Supreme Court, and denied a voice at Andy Coulter's trial. So when you give information as a whistleblower, you feel that your voice will be heard across the board in general, so everybody can hear it. That wasn't happening. It was being micromanaged. And what I mean by that, again, is that my information was only used and weaponized to fit a certain narrative. And I was deeply, deeply concerned with that, because it makes the two sides look completely no different to me. They look the same. And the fact that it seems like the same system, but different subsets. Does that make any sense? Different subsets. And I was basically given a very, very small carrot and a very, very long stick. And
the small carrot, it was dangled, wasn't it? That if you
absolutely.
Do this, your book will help you with your book.
Oh, hang on, excuse me. If I do this, my book will, it made an ebook. It's taken 2 years to get to publication to be a paperback. And probably under 100 people have read it, maybe a bit more. I may be slightly exaggerating there. And that concerns me, because the story should be told from all sides, not from one perspective. There'll be great insights. I'm immensely honest in my dishonesty in my book. It's been well written by Joe Cusack, a Sunday Times best-selling author, and I'm proud of that voice. A good voice, but it's not been heard, Lauren.
Did you, during the ongoing kind of conversations with Prince Harry's legal team, they must have been keen to get you in front of him and say, look, we've got Glenn. Glenn is a whistleblower. Surely if Harry is, as he says, so driven by accountability and everything, it must have been a meeting of minds, because you are absolutely tunnel visioned in justice for victims. What were your meetings with Prince Harry like?
Why did it happen? I asked for it. I asked for one-to-ones, and they were promised, dangled, and never happened. And that's the key thing. If you don't speak to each other and learn the insights, there is no additional angles. But it's not just about Prince Harry. If we go down the opposite end of the scale, not downwards, but the other end of the scale, there's other victims that I need to meet and talk to as well. I want them to understand my story. I see myself as a victim in this as well. Now, before everyone cries, how can you be? I've been punished twice for the same crime, where other people have got away with it. I'm still determined to whistleblow, still determined to help victims. So that says more about my character than it does about the framed reputation that they need me to be.
Trade natural gas, long and short. Get the Trading 212 app now.
If you have finally woken up to how insufficient you're being, stop flicking through textbooks and hunting for study notes. You need a way quicker, more efficient way to find the information you need. Using Dola will seriously boost your study productivity. Let me show you how it works. Just give it a command like summarize all the key topics and exam points for microeconomics, and you will get a full structured study framework instantly. Or try lay out all the calculus formulas and explain how to use them in detail. You will get a complete breakdown in seconds. It will save you lots of time. What's more, it lets you revise a way that's tailored exactly to your own learning style. And the best part, Dola is completely free to use. So download Dola and get a revision right now.
So would it be accurate to say that Prince Harry's legal team, you believe, they wanted to chop up your truth and put it nicely into their narrative? Is that accurate?
That is 110% accurate, because what I was trying to say is that some of these journalists I was dealing with were corporate sociopaths. They're inconsistent. What we found out now, these are the very same journalists that denied all wrongdoing from the offset. I made my admissions in 2006 off the bat and made my apologies then and went to Belmarsh prison. Then after that, I got dragged in a second time for it, and I offered to give evidence to the court, or as a casey evidence, for want of a better word, and that was denied. Again, I was tried and convicted for the same crime twice. That raises more questions than it does answers. Do you not agree?
Yeah, and I also think if Prince Harry, like he says, is so adamant on accountability, injustice, he claims to stand for all of these things that evidently he doesn't. But your story, you have equally had money, power and influence weaponized against you. You have had the media weaponized against you. So for me, this raises huge questions, particularly as today we are looking at Centre Barley and Sophie Charanduka suing him at the High Court for defamation. He only left the High Court a month or so ago, where he's telling the world that he's on some drive for accountability and truth. You are a whistleblower that is worth your weight in gold, and you've been within the very centre of mainstream media doing the crimes that he is trying to sue Associated Newspaper for. The fact that his legal team, and I'm not even sensationalizing anything, I am purely using information available within the public domain and talking to you direct, the fact they haven't bitten your hand off is absolutely stunning to me. That raises some serious, serious questions.
It does not make sense. The dots do not dot up, and I can't understand it. I'm still in front of you now, 20 years down the line, not getting my information out, not getting my story out. I think the formula was, raised expectations